Fuel don't want to give this up, but there's no more point in going for extra delay. You're already at 99%. What's next for the Fuel?
The big question for the Fuel is, can they leverage this sound barrier? Rain only at 71%. If he can get his sound barrier online, it will keep the Valiant alive, but 30% is a long way to go in that final team fight. But the question is, can the Fuel get aggressive enough to make this work?
We're gonna find out now. Early Celestine's out. Shatter used early from Trill. Puts KSF on the ground. And yet, the Valiant still able to stay alive. Meanwhile, Decay poking at the side, gets KSF! Once more, Decay, proving to be a deadly assassin for the Fuel. KSP, though, not done. Death Blossom to the back, finds Crimzo, and now on the hunt for a Cowboy. Decay backing out, not out of it. Gig falls on the other side, and both teams scrapping back and forth. The Fuel, though, starting to get a little bit more momentum. Moving on forward, Decay still alive, healed up, and the Fuel about to retake the point.
Valiant, they have to answer this. Point control for the Fuel. Time's running out, but a huge blizzard from behind. KSF with a huge lane.
The icicle to the head. It's neutralized Decay. The Valiants are moving back on Ig. Gig is down, but the blizzard is out. KSF making it frosty here, trying to get the Fuel off the point. And the Valiant, they're about to retake.
What a flank from KSF, keeping the Valiant alive in this match. Fuel, they're going to be forced to switch back to a fast contest comp just to be able to stay alive, but they're chasing forward for more frag.
It's kind of funny, we talked about it. You kind of mentioned that McCree is essentially replacement Hanzo now.
Now it's KSP's turn to take a swing at the McCree. He's been a deadly hit scanner here, so we'll see if he can handle Doha on this Doomfist. Now Doha is really the key player for Dallas. What can he find to get a pickoff going? Doha
does have a very solid Doomfist, not quite as good as the Sombra, but no, slap. That's what we call a little bit of a caster curse, but he's still alive. See if it lasts for long. Fuel, though, in a rough spot. Doha falls, couldn't make it work. The sleep coming in from Lastro, very nice for the Valiant. But Gig has fallen, the fight is not over yet, and the Fuel are starting to fight this one back.
The Valiant may have overplayed their hand here. Dallas Fuel standing so strong in the corner of the map, using that Devil Shield comp to perfection, and it looks like they're going to be able to get this first control.
The Fuel not giving up on that fight, even with a rough initiation, works out. They're going to get first control.
This is how you have to play the Rhino. You just get that one last Arisha shield down that the enemies can't deal with, and you can clutch from those corner positions.
Now we look towards Crimzo. Amplification Matrix online. The Fuel just got to play this back. A little bit more poking. Wall gonna deny a little bit use of that. The Valiant moving on in. Gig builds up the Shatter. Doesn't have a chance to drop it. KSP meanwhile on the flank. Deals with Doha 5-on-5. McCree unleashed can be very deadly. Look out forward. Looking for a little bit more. The Shatter from Trill drops. But as he falls, both teams fighting for supremacy. Decay, KSF, both based on the point.
Supercharger and the sound barrier, just too much from the Dallas Fuel. They will hold on to the control, and what an important fight to win.
The Fuel maintain control, and I could have said better myself, Jake. That was a fight the Valiant needed, and the Fuel are very much in the driver's seat.
Dallas Fuel looks like they just want to set up on point here, electing not to hold the choke. No, they will be moving forward once all 6 of their members are back. Definitely wanting to leverage that Arisha shield all the time. Just force the enemy to break the shields while you're charging your ults.
Valiant, they're not wasting any time. They're just moving on in. Gig charging forward. Shatter at the ready. Blizzard backing it up. The Fuel desperately trying to disengage, but Decay couldn't get away. Shatter drops a little bit later. Gig looking for the pin. Doesn't quite get it, but the damage has certainly been done. The Valiant going to be retaking, but the Fuel are in a great spot.
Lots of control going their way, but now it's the Valiant's turn to be in control, and I just want to highlight that from Gig. Great patience on the Shatter. He waits for the sleep to time out. He buys all the time in the world for the support abilities from the Dallas Fuel to time out so that they can actually get that kill onto Trill. So that's great patience from Gig, showing impressive stuff from a rookie.
Should the Fuel be burning ults in this fight?
It's very, very winnable for them, especially with this great rotation. They're the ones on point now. McGravy to be able to set up that kill onto last run. The team fight just fell apart from there for the Los Angeles Valiant. Now they're really just working with this nano boost, trying to enable Gig's Shadow potentially, but it'll be tough to get value with Doha able to CC the Rhine.
A little bit for Rain. Doha charging up, doesn't go for it just yet. KSP moving forward. Deadeye, a little bit confusion, moves in. Immortality Field barely saving against that Deadeye. And Trill was too low. Trill could be healed. And Rain moving in for some of the cleanup. The Valiant at a good spot. The nano boost is out, and the Fuel are in hot retreat.
Gig does find that Shatter onto his counterpart on the Rhine. That's huge, enables him to get the kill, and now it's Valiant's turn to take control, but the Fuel, all they have to do is win one team fight, and they have a huge support ult advantage. This sound barrier couldn't be further away for Rain, so the question is, can they somehow corral the Dallas Fuel when they're going to be immediately initiating with a Doomfist? With that sound barrier, they have so much aggressive potential.
How does Valiant get an early pickoff here, if at all?
it's really all on KSF's Blizzard, but you know Closer has that speed boost, so it'll be tough to get a consistent one.
Rain in the skybox time. Moving forward, KSP already down! Crimzo isolating him at the end of the hall from Blizzard, though. It's pretty big in the middle, but it's not enough. The Fuel, enough got away. The Fuel cleaning up one by one, 99%. But while this went on, the Valiant, they were able to get on the point, but it shouldn't matter because most of the Valiant, they're gone.
KSP, the only one even able to touch, but it's just too little too late here. You don't win a 6v1 in this situation. Wow, what insane stuff there from the Dallas Fuel. That team fight from Doha, picking up 5 kills on the Doomfist. You know, we thought this hero might be a little bit out of favor here, but on a map like Night Market, it's really great for finding those back walls, finding those consistent one-shot knock kills.
I think it's just a testament to how much the meta is in flux. We talked a lot with the teams beforehand. It's not quite how it was when everything was in NLA. Not all the teams are screaming each other. You almost have your own disparate metas developing, and teams are willing to try new things, especially at the start of the season.
And I think especially with hero pools on the horizon, people have a keen eye towards flexibility. They understand how valuable that will become as the league season goes on.
Evidenced by the Dallas Fuel starting lineup. Who would have thought that would be Trill and Gamsu to start things out?
Looks like Valiant with this Moira pickup wanted to get very aggressive into the white room. Dallas Fuel as well with the Orisa want to play this fight a little bit slower.
The Fuel a little bit closer to the point, moving forward, trying to take the fight, backing out a bit. They don't want this to be a full stagger. Gig chasing quite far, healed back up in time. Both teams a little bit back and forth. The Gig a little bit far, dealt with by Doha. 5-on-5, still winnable for the Fuel, and the Fuel is trying to come back in. They've dealt with the front line. Trill back into the fray.
Fuel sustaining so well. The Coalescence does come down for the Valiant, but with no tanks left, it'll be tough to hold this. KSF does find Crimzo, so limited fuel heals now available for the Dallas Fuel, but Blizzard's being committed from both teams. They want to fight this out.
It is getting frosty here. Neither team has control of the point just yet, but Decay into the Fuel. They're giving up a little bit of space. They're trying to play this more safely. Gig down. Got muscle KSP to the back. Neutralized, frozen, done! The Fuel well on their way, but they have to deal with KSF in last row first. The Valiant are not out of it yet.
Support still alive, but that amplification matrix in the backline gonna enable Crimzo to just deal all the damage in the world, healing up everybody. Looks like Dallas Fuel starting to control this situation, but the Valiant are streaming back in. It's anybody's fight.
The Valiant will not fall. They drop the beat. They're moving on in. Meanwhile, Dog drops the Blizzard, able to ice block just barely, keeping himself alive. Sets up the demise of Gig, and the Fuel, they're coming right back. They don't want to give this up. They want to treat the hometown crowd here in Dallas with a bit of a show. KSF gonna fall, and the Fuel starting to gain advantage here and now, and they've done it. I like this from the Valiant. Not only were they able to turn it towards the very end, but Widow has historically been very good against McCree.
The Dallas Fuel are going to really struggle now without any diva to pressure this Widow. There's really nobody who can get on KSP, and if you leave KSP uncontested, I'll tell you what, he will click your head.
This is someone you do not let be alone on Widow. He will destroy your team single-handedly. Walls coming on out early, and Gig looking at some focus fire down, but might have been off more than get two. In real danger, taken on out. The Fuel damaging through. Now you gotta look to KSP. Can KSP get a pickoff to turn this around while the Valiant are trying to buy time?
Sound barrier comes out, but it's back. He can't deal the damage. KSP watching, hunting,
There's
gets one.
KSP has one, looking for two. Decay in his sights. Decay getting away. KSP can see where they all are, but can't quite hit the rest of the shots. Moving around on the flank, looking once more. Note out of it. Gig moving forward. Shatter ready, but shouldn't even use those. Gamsu just gets slammed into the wall.
Great work by the LA Valiant, somehow coming back into that team fight. Great team play as well, and attacking the Fuel right in that choke. Even without KSP able to support them in that angle, they know that they can't just let the Fuel walk in through that low ground rotation.
You're the Fuel. You got 40 seconds left. You're heading into the last fight. How do you break the stalemate?
The question is, I mean, you've got this high noon, I mean, but really it's all going to be on the Supercharger. It's going to be really tough to be able to get a good high noon against KSP's Widow.
Oh, the K! No! Last row, the finishing blow, the Bionade dealing with him. KSP room to work with Gamsu down, and the Fuel, they're not going to have enough time for a full 6-on-6.
KSP looking so smooth, so well practiced on the Widowmaker. I want to see him go in for more. I love watching this guy. Closer though, going to be able to touch the cart. Slight potential for a back count, but KSP is watching.
This is full Hail Mary territory. Lucio hanging out on the cart, trying to buy time, looking for the miracle. Gamsu, but north to the Hammond, slept. Oh, last row, sleeping the Hammond. no delay.
Should give him a great way to start that next fight off. KSP onto the Widowmaker. I wonder if that was just coming back fast, trying to get that recontest from the siege tank position, but will be interesting to see if he elects to keep it. There are some significant open sidelines, but it's much harder to use on the attack than the defense.
The hard part here for the Fuel, Jake, is that they have to still hold for 3 more minutes. This is a long time to go without losing a fight.
This is one of those sidelines I was worried about, though. How do you suppress KSP? Doha's Doomfist charging forward, needs to cut him down.
We'll see where Doha is. Doha down to half HP. I don't think he got on KSP the way he wanted. No! Finished off by Rain. And now the Fuel down their initiation with the Doomfist. An opportunity for the Valiant. Blizzard is out. The Valiant moving in right now for the finish. Caught with the Graviton. Gamsu looking to dive in. They're trying to deback the McGravy. They get him. He's out of the mech. Something the Fuel needed here as they try and turn this the other way. Gamsu about 20% away from the Earth Shatter. Doha getting dangerously low, but McGravy can't remech. Out of the fight for good. Now you look at KSF on the other side, dangerously low, and the Fuel have done a good job of fighting this one back.
Looks like that D-Mech was just enough, and now Note fully torqued, moving forward and spamming. Wants to get that grab charging up again, and only 2 minutes left. Can the Fuel make this hold happen?
It has to be Gamsu, the team leader himself, the main tank, 93%. Hoping for an Earth Shatter. The turn the tide here is the Valiant make another attempt.
Huge sleep though from Blastro, shuts down Doha's dive. Gamsu's sitting here with the Nano Boost, but he's got nothing to follow up.
Oh, this is tragic. The Nano about to fade. That one away from the Fuel. Meanwhile, Closer and Decay made purple by Blastro on the other side. But now the Fuel, they're ready to go. The Earth Shatter ready for Gamsu. He drops it, knocks down KSF. That's why that Meanwhile, McGravy, the self-destruct up, over, does not get what he's looking for. Doha, Meteor Strike, over and in, connects on the last row, and the Fuel. The Blizzard, Gamsu, in a little bit of danger. The Valiant using the barrier early, going for the poke, Note already down, Yank, drops the down the other side, puts Doha to the turf, and the Valiant, they're moving on forward, they eat the Blizzard! The Blizzard eaten on the other side, McGravy smothers it, and the Valiant about to even up the series. Overwatch knows you have so many moments where you wait for a Widow to do something, and that moment never happens. But if KSP is on your side, it seems to happen quite a bit.
Blastro as well has been on point with the sleeps, and he'll need to stay that way. Dallas Fuel fielding a very aggressive Sombra Genji dive composition. Looks like they're going to commit. They have that Mercy Ana. That's a comp that you play to absolutely max out the potential of this Genji.
This is Doha's signature hero. This was his claim to fame. His Sombra gameplay, one of the fastest building Sombras Overwatch has ever seen. We'll see if that contender's pedigree translates over to the Overwatch League.
Starting to get some time on the control point, but McGravy biding his time, doesn't need to rush to contest, comes with the aid of Rain to quickly push out this Sombra.
Doha already at 25%. Ooh, Decay! Went a little bit in and just got completely pummeled by KSP.
Trying to utilize the distraction from Doha. Doha going again to the capture point, but can't manage to get the tick. KSP looking so deadly, poking out these tanks.
Doha right now, 38%, not quite building as quick as he used to. Gamsu, though, able to find Rain. The Fuel with something to work with here, but KSP is the raid boss that needs to be defeated, and currently, a lot of room to work with, but hey, time for a snooze.
Nice sleep by Crimzo, followed up on the nade. KSP running for the hills, trying to stay alive, and Closer brings a res on a Note, but Gamsu is frozen and taken down.
The Fuel getting very beneficial trades, and it didn't seem like a whole lot, but the Fuel in a much better spot right now as they move forward, and the Valiant in a tougher spot.
Good trades overall for the Fuel, but Decay is quite slow on this Dragon Blade after falling so early in the first fight, so Crimzo's going to be sitting on that Nano Boost for a long time, killing some of the efficiency of this comp.
Doha right now doesn't get the rest of the EMP. It's been slower building from the part. Gamsu finds KSP, activates the Primal. They've dealt with the biggest threat on the Valiant. The Bionate's in the back. Gig and McGravy not feeling very healthy right now. EMP in reserve. You got to think Doha would like to save this here, Jake.
Yeah, looks like Dallas Fuel will be able to clean up without committing their crucial ultimates. Closer, though, does bring out the Valkyrie, so there won't be that easy combo to set up Decay's Blade as they move on to second point, but first point control, that's all you need to worry about
Gamsu
now
can't be
for the Dallas
stopped.
Fuel.
Gamsu cleaning up just about everything there. And now the Fuel, Jake. This is the dream EMP. Dragon Blade on deck. One quick time might deserve another.
Definitely. The question is, what can Decay get done without that damage boost ability coming down on his Blade? Closer gonna switch over to the Lucio and Gamsu to the Ryan, giving their backline a little more oomph, a little more staying power as they get into this fight. KSF also onto the Tracer, wants to dodge that EMP and get something done on the flank.
This is the best opportunity the Fuel will have this round Doha holding on to the EMP, looking for the raw hack. KSP, Deadeye to zone things out. Doesn't get anything. The Fuel now moving in. They take down Gig. And the EMP has yet to be used. Decay though in danger. Decay gonna get healed back up. Crimzo out of the fight. Dallas Fuel at 5. Do they invest? Oh, Decay
Lastro!
Decay went in, denied by Lastro, and the EMP never quite has a chance to come out.
Doha thought it was enough, just get that hack off. It did look so good as a start, but KSF and McGravy swept it on the flank and picked up the healers from the Dallas Fuel. You know, you lose one of those backline key heroes and things just fall to CP. So Decay gonna switch off that Genji onto the McCree. I like this switch, something a little stronger to defend that Ana.
Feels like a lost opportunity for the Fuel. They had a lot going into that fight and it didn't pan out.
Still though, the EMP is going to make it very difficult for Rain to make use of this sound barrier. He's going to have to wait in the wings, waiting for that EMP to come down. If Doha can hack that, Lucio hack that beat, that could be massive for the Dallas Fuel.
And now we look towards Doha. The EMP going to decide this for the Fuel one way or another. Early bio nade, throwing the Fuel a little bit further back. Doha biding his time, opposite of his team, waiting for the right opportunity, doesn't want to get caught out of stealth.
Maybe looking again for a hack on the tanks. Does get one, but quickly pushed out.
Gets a hack on to the D.Va, but doesn't quite have a great opportunity to drop the EMP. Meanwhile, the Fuel finding themselves engaged on Shatter. Falling on Doha. Much quicker in the EMP build this time. 30 seconds left, he's at 70%. It could come into play before time is over.
Landing right on KSP's head is Gamsu with a follow-up from Crimzo.
This is looking much better for the Fuel. They've dealt with the hit scan threat in the back. They're starting to swarm the Valiant bit by bit. Decay is down, but the rest of the Fuel still fighting McGravy and KSF at death's door right now. Very, very low. The resurrection is in. The Fuel back up to full strength, and they are well on their way to taking point A and keeping this one in contest.
Valiant wanting to fight this, looks like trying to come back in, but with the baby D.Va, it'll be a tough test. Looks like this is just cleanup mode for the Dallas. Note though, you can see him immediately hunting, but potentially caught off. McGravy instantly back to help out his teammate. That's a second pickup. Whoa, beautiful stuff from KSP.
The Fuel are simply not working with the numbers anymore on point. Decay though off the other side! The flank evening the odds! And that is exactly what the Fuel needed to get back in this fight.
Exactly that. Somehow Decay staying alive, still delivering the damage. Doha will be back soon, and Fuel are starting to regroup on this first point.
So the Fuel not out of it yet. They're gonna up a little bit of progress, but that is fine. Still up a full 6. Moving forward, looking to freeze out Gig. Decay back to the high ground, deals with Lastro, looking for a little bit more. This is where Decay wants to be. Lucio in his face, down he goes.
Frags going both ways. This fight could really be anyone's. Both primes pitting each other. It's all on the follow-up, but the freeze comes in. KSF's here, aiding his main tank, keeping everyone alive.
Gamsu getting well supported, still in it, but now one of the pieces of support is gone. Crimzo picked off by McGravy. Valiant trying to press a degree of spawn advantage, but do you think they might need it back out as Gamsu continues to eat bit by bit of damage, and Rain is able to chase him down!
Rain, I think that's his third frag this team fight. Lucio can be so devastating in these low player situations. He's got his sound barrier, but looks like he wants to just hold on to it. Might be forced to commit just to keep the Valiant in the fight, but looks like their spawn is a little bit closer. They will be snowballing back in with no heals available for the Dallas Fuel. That'll be the end of the first point, just playing for the draw now.
3 points to 3 points. 3 minutes and 18 seconds left for the Valiant. Not to full cap on the final point, but to get a mere 33%. Jake, that changes how you play defense.
So many ults up for the LA Valiant, and can you dodge KSP for 3 minutes? That seems like a tall order to me. The Valiant charging in, stifled by the ice wall from Doha though.
Decay in the back, using the Deadeye, takes out KSP, but falls! KSP now in a prime position, doesn't have to worry about Decay, takes down Closer. Thrown to the ground, Gamsu trying to deal with the threat, deals with KSP. Meanwhile, the Fuel have to stay on the point. They have nothing to give. Doha's already out of the fight. Gamsu trying his very best right now. Slapped off the Nano Lastro, an absolute nut.
It might be just enough to hold though for the Dallas Fuel. I honestly like that from Gamsu. Just solo shadow KSP. You gotta get this guy out of the game or he will destroy you all. But still, 2 minutes and 30 seconds for KSP to work his magic. Decay on the Tracer. I like this as well. You need to pressure this guy. The Widow will destroy you if you aren't on her face.
Seen Tracer used to very good effect earlier in the day from Nene. We'll see if Decay can do the same here. The Fuel trying to burn off the final 2 minutes off the clock. Okay. Doha! Headshot the KSP. That buys you some time.
A little bit of counter sniping here, and honestly, I love Decay on this Tracer. He can be a sort of dynamic duo.
P off of the Widowmaker. Now going to sense a little bit better against Tracer. The Fuel backing out, making the Valiant commit first onto the point, and there they go. They move on to the point. Decay to back, gets the stick, connects! 2 down for Decay, and that is some vintage Tracer gameplay.
Absolutely beautiful. Decay gets the value off the pulse bomb, gonna go back to spawn and take the swap, so things are working just perfectly for the Dallas Fuel. This draw is looking more and more in reach as the defense comes together here.
1 minute left to go, potentially 1 fight left. The Fuel, can they hold things off here and now?
The challenge for me is KSF does have the Blizzard advantage right now. Crimzo does have the nano boost if the Blizzard only finds 1, but if it's too many people frozen, then that won't be much help, and a beautiful ice wall from KSF forces the Fuel onto the low ground.
Wall v wall, the Fuel backing up a little bit. Crimzo looking for the sleep, but Gravy awfully low, so is Gamsu. Nice nano on the Gamsu, keeping him alive. Meanwhile, Gig in danger. Gig falling, Blizzard used, but the Fuel have already taken out 2. KSF gave up his life for that. Gamsu down, the Valiant still looking into it. The McCree still in play. Decay versus KSP. Who's it gonna be? Sound barrier drop. The Valiant, they want to finish this now. KSP's in the back. Note is down. The Fuel are staggered. They're hurting.
Duel. The question is it enough? Now caught in the middle of the map are most of the players for the Dallas Fuel. It's a Lucio on Lucio brawl near the edge, but the superior tank line still living for the Los Angeles Valiant. Should secure it. Oh, KSF.
The Valiant are in full control here so far. The Fuel desperately trying to look for some form of footing, and they wisely decide not to go for the contest there.
Blastro, what an unsung hero. Sleeping Note, that's the player you needed to come touch the cart, but Blastro hits a sleep like that, you just have to give up the point. So great work from him, and now a nail was ready to come down. Decay's constantly running, caught again. He's not even able to take the duel.
You must defeat my team to stand a chance against KSP is sort of what is going on right now. KSP has been given infinite amounts of space, and this has been problematic for the Fuel. Fuel, though, getting a little bit scrappy on the top, trying to take fights here and there, and getting a bit of delay onto the payload as the Valiant regroup.
This sort of extremely split fight is going to favor the team with closer spawns as frags go both ways. Valiant still pushing close to their own checkpoint, so really is going to benefit them. But Fuel, they're building up a bank of ultimates. They will have an opportunity to make the
secrets here for either team. Everyone, they can see everything.
Everyone exposed. It's all on the hit scan.
Meanwhile, we got a Rhine battle. Rock up, sock up, Gig going in for the charge. Gamsu responds, and they're both frozen. Reinhardt Spider-Man in action. Decay, though, down on the other side. Rain was able to hunt him down. Meanwhile, the Fuel on the payload. Crimzo evening the odds. Gamsu looking for the charge, and down goes KSF.
Nice sleep from Crimzo to set that up. Looks like Fuel will have an opportunity to stabilize, and look at this. Closer, able to hold on to that sound barrier. That will be so important. Fuel, they have an opportunity to move forward and take these close chokes on second point. I wonder if they'll take it or just elect to control this mid-high ground.
So far, even though it hasn't been pretty, Fuel have done a pretty good job here, Jake, of delaying things out.
Maybe enough to defeat that sound barrier from Closer, but I expect to see Dallas Fuel getting highly aggressive when Closer elects to commit.
Meanwhile, the Valiant going up to the high ground, looking for the approach, trying to isolate Note. Note just zooms on out of there, not a big deal, and KSF slept. Nice stuff from Crimzo on the other side. Decay, though, again, finding himself being pressured. Gig falls, KSP, room to work with, finds Closer. KSP, the Widow that has not been pressured nearly as much so far.
Everyone getting split here for the Dallas Fuel, fighting on the Valiant side of the map, so it's a great isolation by McGravy and Rain. McGravy, though, caught out, potentially a little aggressive, so this just turns into a massive flank for the Dallas Fuel. Widow on a flank, that's not something you see every day. KSP, though, still finds another. Can somebody shut him down?
The fights are just taking place all over Point B. This is not a focused Deathball v Deathball, no. We got one-on-ones, two-on-twos. But what's important for the Fuel, they've been delaying here, Jake.
Yeah, they still will have time to wait out the Emperor from KSP. Decay with his own, ready to pop with just one more body shot. So this is potentially looking a little bit tough for the Valiant. Nice ice wall, though. Catches one.
Gamsu has to drop the shatter under pressure. It's not ideal. He falls. Gig following through. The ice wall setting that up for KSF And now the Fuel at a distinct disadvantage. The final fall through from the Valiant, and that's going to be point B.
And what an important duel victory for KSP. Finds Decay just as Decay finishes charging that in for sight. So what a crucial headshot to be hitting at that exact moment. Now Decay, he does have that in for sight, but he can't use it yet. His team is still regrouped.
So putting KSF down for a bit, and Decay on the follow through. The world's easiest headshot. And again, this gives Fuel time to work with here. Valiant, they don't really want to heavily engage down a May.
Jump shot from KSP finds nothing. Decay's Inversight is over though. Note though, it does find Gig, and that's going to spell the advantage for Dallas Fuel. Might send Valiant running for the hills.
Okay, decent spot. Moving over to the left. Now fully set up his Widow, and I think you get a little bit more space here, Jake.
Yeah, the major advantage here is that KSP does have the Inversight. That's going to enable his team. This hiding play from Doha is going to be completely scouted out. So no secrets. Everyone from the Fuel going to have to play together, stay grouped, but it's a nice split from the Valiant slipping through the chokes.
Nano on the Gamsu, and KSP wins the Widow duel, and wins more than that. Takes out Crypto on the other side. The Fuel, though, they were charging with Gamsu. Gamsu led the way to 2. It's 4 on 4. Doha trying to buy time, holding on to the Blizzard, waiting for the beat to go down. No, doesn't have a chance to drop the Blizzard in the end. Now it's going to be the Valiant taking a crucial fight here on point C.
Great fight from the Valiant, although I do agree with the decision from the Fuel not to commit that close to the enemy spawn. You want to wait for that optimal place to hold, which is on that final end of the checkpoint. And here we see a replay from McGravy swarming the enemies in this corner. So devastating at close range as this Diva.
I feel like they forget about McGravy sometimes. When McGravy goes, maybe you shouldn't forget about me. I'm going to do things like this.
That was such a sweet triple kill booster from McGravy. Love to see it, and now he's got the self-destruct. What can he do with it?
Gravy here on the payload. The Fuel, though, looking pretty charged up. Gig, though, one good Earth Shatter could ruin their day. The Valiant right now keeping the payload progress is #1 priority. The Fuel moving forward, and they drop the Nano on McGravy after the self-destruct. Oh, it gets Gamsu! It ends up working out. Now McGravy back the other way, deals with his counterpart, and this is looking real good for the Valiant. Oh, no! The response! It's a far bigger Diva bomb in the back.
You hate to see a little bit of miscommunication coming out from the Valiant. Nano boost essentially wasted, and oh no, now McGravy's gonna get staggered, and with only 40 seconds on the clock, this is so devastating. Oh, that's not what you want to see if you're a fan of the Los Angeles Valiant. Fuel looking to hold strong here with a massive support hold advantage. This is going to be tough. I mean, you've got a Shatter, you've got a Blizzard if you're the LA Valiant, but so much defensive utility available for the Dallas Fuel. It's going to be difficult to actually capitalize and turn those ults into kills.
Final 20 seconds. The Fuel about to hold the Valiant off here on Junkertown. Crimzo holding on to the Nano, waiting, puts it on the Gamsu. Gamsu waiting for an opportunity to go forward. Doesn't quite get the chance to dive onto the Valiant. The beat is used. Oh, no, catches KSP. The big threat.
No kills, and now Valiant pushing forward on this tempo swing. Gamsu stunned, pushed back, trying to finish that Shatter, but it's Gig who comes up with it first, finds both supports on the ground.
Puts both supports to the ground, and is his own finish in the end. And the Valiant, I think, almost overcommit on ults here. I don't think they needed to drop the Blizzard towards the very end, but I guess they wanted the Fuel secure.
Yeah, KSF, I can't help but feel like that was a bit of a waste, but they are going to get a massive stagger onto Node here potentially, or just feed some of that damage onto their own baby Diva. I love that, actually, getting McGravy back in his suit, ready for that next fight.
So the Valiant holding strong. 2 minutes left for the Fuel to make something happen, or they will suffer their first loss at home.
Certainly looking that way. Valiant holding strong. The Fuel, they're going to have to pull something out of their hat here. They do have that double tank ult play. Trying to break the barrier is the May, though.
Self-destruct in over the top, looking up to turn the tide. No! Valiant, too aggressive, just catching the Fuel off guard.
Great work by them, diving forward on the self-destruct. You have to make a decisive decision one way or the other. Go in or go out here. You do have some support ults, but Rain has this sound barrier, so can you really leverage the Nano?
Oh, that is so sneaky. The wall for the instant Earth Shatter, but I don't think it's enough. Decay got plunked on entry, and KSP not done yet. Looking for a little bit more. The Deadeye, though, really setting the pace for this team fight as the Fuel are now going to be down to their final minute.
Patience from KSP with the flashbang pays off, shuts down Note, and it's just KSP and Lasco, the dynamic duo. They can't seem to take down this McCree. He's so accurate, so deadly. He's just pumping out the damage. I mean, it feels like the Fuel have to answer this, but what more can they do? I mean, Note is diving in, Closer's diving in, but Valiant, they're just coalescing around this McCree and not letting him fall. Now it's their turn to have ultimate advantage. Fuel, not much in the tank here.
The Fuel need a miracle. Maybe it comes from Gamsu. The Blizzard Eden, that's one step, but Gamsu dies immediately. The Blizzard's gone, KSF is out. Gig walks forward, drops the Shatter, and the Valiant more than willing to follow up on that. Final 30 seconds for the Fuel here at home.
Decay finds one, slips out the side, needs to stay alive. Only 20 seconds left on the clock. A stagger here could mean the end of the match. Decay though finds another, looking deadly.
Anytime the Fuel need life, they go to that special brand of Decay power, and they're not out of it yet. 10 seconds.
And they're able to win that fight with a minor ultimate commitment, now in a major advantage, looking to close out second point and get some more time on the clock.
Doha, Blizzard, ready to go. The Fuel could not be more charged. Deadeye from KSP, fishing, looking for something. The Blizzard from Doha, out successfully, makes a point, a little bit chilly. Okay, Deadeye in the back, gets McGravy, Gig is down, the front line from the Valiant, no longer a thing. And the Fuel doing what they need to do to stay alive here in Junkertown, but KSP, he's still a threat, he's still in the back. The Fuel have not won this just yet. The Bionade coming in from the side. Where is KSP? He's still around. He's coming in from the back. The Fuel, though, they get the point.
KSP does a lot, but it's just not enough. Too many ults for the Dallas Fuel, but they have to commit absolutely everything to close out that point. That's a great fight from the LA Valiant, down 5-1 on the ults, and somehow they still force everything out of the Fuel. That kind of took the wind out of their sails. I thought this could be a snowball, but now they're back trying to charge up more ultimates. All they have is Gamsu's Shatter, and it can be pretty tough to get a good Shatter without any ultimates on support.
The Fuel are still very much in the danger zone. Only a minute remaining here, Jake. That's a good 2 to 3 fights in a row that they need to win.
Valiant prioritizing that high ground control. Big sleep by Lastro. Sets up on the Mei. That's no one to drop the ice wall. Gamsu charging forward.
Both Gamsu and Doha low, eating the Bionade to start things out. Fuel able to recover a little bit. No, Doha got chased down. The supports on the prowl, and Gamsu just out alone behind enemy lines. And this puts the Fuel once more into do or die here at home.
Completely isolated in the backline is Gamsu. That's great awareness by the Valiant, booping him back there and then leaving him alone to think about what he's done while they clean up his teammates. So Fuel regrouping, but only 20 seconds left on the clock. Someone's actually gonna go through on a suicide mission just to touch the cart.
Very likely to be closer or note. Meanwhile, Gamsu holding on to the Shatter, going to potentially be the key here once more. The Fuel enter into what could be the final fight. KSP, Deadeye in the back. There's the Shatter from Gamsu, puts him right to the floor, but his Falter gonna be there. Gamsu gets the nano, the beat, gonna save him when he needed it most, but Gravy demeched. And now the Fuel playing around the Blizzard from KSF as best they can. KSP though, on the other side, ends up with 2. It's Decay, it's KSP, both McCrees fighting tooth and nail. Decay finds KSF, where's KSP? Decay continues his assault. KSP fights the other way.
KSP, this man can't be stopped, comes out on top of the duel. Now he's got the nano boost, no one can stop him. He wants this map win, he wants the series.
It's an electric cowboy here in Dallas, and what a poetic way to end the Dallas